Hello, America. Eddie Marcus here, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. You know, it seems as though there's a lot of confusion that's going around in this country today and really all around the world. And I think that most of us would want some solutions. We want to see these things resolved. We want to be at peace again with ourselves and not worrying about this and worrying about that. But whether we want that or not, it is apparent all around us. So I propose to all of us, especially right here in America, we have in leadership positions some of the most crooked, evil people you can imagine in our leadership positions. And when I say crooked and evil, I'm talking about people who want all the resources. They want to control everything. And they are willing to kill to get it. These are the kind of people that run our country and people who run other countries. But I'm going to focus in on our country. These are the things that we have to deal with every day. And we keep looking for solutions. We keep thinking that people who don't give a heck about certain groups of people are going to do something to protect those same people. And if they don't do it, you got a confused situation that is not anywhere close to being resolved. So I've concluded that we have to take our trust out of other people like that. They have their own secret agendas, and their agenda is not ours, even though they have convinced many of us to think that it is. But what I suggest to all of us is this. We might not believe in religion the same kind of way. In Christianity, there are many of us who believe in Jesus, and there are many of us who don't. There are many of us who believe in the creation story, and many of us who don't. There are many people who believe that the world became into existence because of a bang, which is something that's ludicrous to many others. And yet here we are, going through all of these changes. Here we are, when each of us, wherever in the world we're at, require the same sustenance for survival. We talk about aliens. Aliens. What do you mean when you say aliens? We always concoct a vision of something that's ugly and something to be fearful of. Can you imagine if the astronauts who leave here on a spaceship, I don't know where they go, but if there were others someplace who saw them in their apparel, can you imagine what they must look like? Can you imagine those other aliens going back to their people saying what Americans look like? Well, we know they don't look like that, but that's the way they appear. And so we have to assume that that's the way any other aliens appear. We have to assume comfortably that when our astronauts pull off their uniforms, we can identify with them. And if others pull off their uniform and we can't identify with them with their looks, that's okay. We got to get rid of all the stuff that put fear in us, makes us afraid. And what I want you to do, ladies and gentlemen, is focus on this. Regardless of whether you believe in Buddha, Hinduism, Confucianism, Islam, there is a nut in our psyche that says there is a God. And when we say that there is a God, we make that God responsible for all creation. And so, ladies and gentlemen, since we cannot find leaders, and we have not found leaders that would represent us as we want to be represented, and oh yes, the reason we have leaders that are low down and dirty and ignorant and stupid and heartless and moralists and liars and murderers, the reason we have those leaders here in the United States and other places around the world is because that's the kind of people they represent. We are the same kind of people that we say they are. Now, one of them might be a combination of all the things I just described. And the people themselves might just have one of those traits. But when you put them all together, all of those traits are recognized in the total population. God says that we have those kind of people because that's what we are. That is the seed we plant. That is what we sow, and that's what we get. I propose to you that we change. We, the people of America, change. I propose that the people of the world change. Just change. And when I say change, let us stop representing and recognizing as being important a political persuasion. Let us stop looking at individuals as educated and smart and good and rich and care. Let us stop doing that. Let us start looking at each individual as important as any other, and that all of our needs should be met if they can be met, and we must engage ourselves in playing a part in them being met. That means having a career of your own choosing or a job, however you want to look at it. And let us determine that we're going to protect one another by making available to every individual all of these things that we have determined are essential for our survival, our liking, our wants, and our desires. Let us determine and guarantee that to one another, and nobody, the devil from hell, won't deny that when we make up our minds. Let us do that. We can end war. We the people. We can end lying and cheating and stealing. They talking about petro dollars and people want to make sure that oil gets in certain places. If anybody on this earth needs oil, then that oil is for anybody on this earth, says God. If anybody on this earth needs housing, then housing is for everybody on this earth, says God. If anybody needs food to survive, then food is for anybody on this earth, says God. If anybody needs to be educated, then education is for anybody on this earth, says God. Says God, the Maker. And who are you, or who are we to say that some are and some are not? To do that means you've been brainwashed. To do that means you have sold out to all of this evil in the world. And you are part of it. And even those of you who think that you're not like that, if you don't stand up against that, then you are just as guilty as the one who set up the plan. Wow, sometimes it seems like that's the hardest thing to get into your minds. And I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that if God be God, God's watching all of this. And you're not going to have to wait until you get in a burning fire, if there is such a thing. And we cannot say it isn't, because the Lord knows it's happening here in these days and in these times. How? Fire, water, everything, every kind of atrocity that you can imagine. What do you think these bombs are doing to people? It's wiping people out. It's burning them up. It's destroying them. It's destroying their structure. It's destroying their capabilities to produce. Now, I said I'm running for Congress, replace Al Franklin here in the state of Minnesota. What am I going to be talking about? Why do I want to be in that office? So I can take it right where I got it today. Right here. Sharing it with Minnesotans. Getting at another arena. Sharing it with those senators and all that bull crap stuff they're trying to support. And get the platform to speak to the rest of the people in this country. So I can wake them up. Trying to get those preachers and those churches who talk about God to realize that talking about God doesn't mean a darn thing. Talking about God is like giving all your money to the preachers while you go home and can't pay your bills. That's what talking about God is. We got to start acting about God. And like you can give to your pastor, give to your preacher, give to the human race. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about something that equals much more than money and can be given to everyone equally. And there won't be no bosses. There won't be any Putins trying to run things. There won't be any Trumps trying to run things. There won't be any North Korean or China people trying to run things and oppress people, because we would have made the choice. We would have made the choice And if we don't make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, don't you think we deserve whatever we get? Think about that. Bye-bye.